Okay, we're live. I'm gonna try and do this really, really quick. I just need to make sure that this is good first. We will go. Hello. Okay, so if I start talking, all right, fuck it, should be good. Um, yeah. All right, let's get going. I'm gonna try and make this video somewhat quick here. Um, so obviously for those who want to uh watch later and they can. I'm going to try and split this up into three parts, I think. The first part is going to be the trade I took today. In this case, it was a loss of $181. So the trade I took today, what I could have done better, and slash advice I have for that trade, trading that day. Wow, this is crazy set. Um, and then holy shit, look at this push. Um, And then the last part's going to be backtesting. So hopefully it's something worth watching the whole thing. I'm going to try not to just dilly-dally and really fuck around here, but yeah, let's get into it. So today's trade was a lesson, to say the least. So today what we did was we waited for a push up. First of all, we saw this push down. Honestly, a really good move. I saw this push down. I was waiting for assist and possibly a break of structure because we swept 1, 2, 3 lows, high time frame lows, and pretty prominent lows at that. So we saw this. I was waiting for assist, and because I didn't get assist, we never ended up taking a trade here. However, really good entry here at the bottom. I'm not gonna lie to you. This was probably the trade. If we could have gotten some kind of assist here, I know on ES, I think we did. Yeah, we did on ES. Even though it was still too late. Like we would have needed the assist down here, but we got it up here. Never got anything on NQ. So at least if we would have it, we would have had a limit order at least floating if we had this going. Um, but we never got it. So ideally we could have had reactions up here, obviously, and set a trade up that looked something probably like this. This would have been a really nice trade to take, right? Like something like this. But we never got that, and so we waited. We waited. We watched it push up. We pushed into this 1 hour fair value gap up here, as well as the 15-minute. 15-minute. We swept all this liquidity, so we had prominent highs taken out. So check. We had prominent highs. Next, we were inside a 1 hour bearish fair value gap. Check. Next, we waited for the cyst, which occurred right here. Check. And this one happened slightly before it. However, it didn't have any fair value gaps or anything to really trade off of. So we waited. We found this one. This fair value gap was created. This cyst was created. And unfortunately, I was watching all this chop, and I was on my phone at the moment, which is something I'm never going to do again because it caused me to basically lose this trade, and I'll explain why here. Because essentially, I was on my phone, not paying attention, didn't see this gap down here, didn't see the reaction off this gap, and one of my fucking rules is to not trade against reactions. We can trade into gaps, we can trade into 1-minute gaps. 5-minute gaps I prefer not to trade into, but we can trade into them. I really don't like trading into reactions, and it's honestly a pretty obvious reaction right here off of this 1 minute imbalance. And just not paying attention. Entered the first trade in here somewhere for extremely low risk, only like $22 loss. Essentially getting stopped out and then seeing this big bearish engulfing candle throw price down, and with an immediate reaction like that, off of creating damn near equal highs and sweeping out this high, and an obvious rejection from this kind of demand zone, where we filled and then pushed price lower. I thought we were going to at least flush to this 21,361 level. Clearly, we didn't. We got stopped out of the first trade, re-entered around this area. If you watch the video, it's in the original video as well. I re-entered in this area in here and got stopped out once more. Now the problem was obviously still trading into this reaction, but at that point I was committed and I'd already taken this trade. And I was fucking committed. It honestly doesn't even look that great. But since we were still committed, I decided to take a third re-entry, or technically a second re-entry, a third trade. And that third trade was off of this wick here. And this was a true wick out. So the first trade just stopped. I was like, okay, that sucks, but it is what it is. And then I saw this momentum going downwards, and I thought, okay, we might flush to 361. Crap, that is 361. And we didn't end up doing that, and so I figured after this wick out, then the rules technically are I'm allowed to re-enter as long as I get wicked out. That was a true wick out, not even just a bearish move to the downside. This was a true wick out, which just, in my mind, my reaction trading just got back in again. And for the third loss in a row. So that was a $22 loss, and then probably two $80 losses back to back. Risk my normal risk, which is about 80 bucks. So I trade $80 risk to make $160 reward. So a 1 to 2, that's about where I was. Now, what could I do better? A lot of things. Honestly, I could be paying attention, not being on my phone for one. I needed to check the 5-minute, which I still didn't do. I'm willing to bet there was probably something in the way on the 5-minute. Let's see here. Okay. That's really cool. Actually, nothing on the 5-minute. Okay, that's good at least. I didn't check the 5-minute though. I got lucky there. Dude, TradingView and the way it just works sometimes and the way you have to navigate is really fucking annoying. Another thing I could have checked for was an SMT. So let's check here. Nope. No SMT. No SMT created. SMTs are when ES takes a high and NQ does not, indicating bearish momentum. That's one of our words for the day, I suppose. Bearish SMT. So we didn't get an SMT, which is a little unfortunate. I don't even think we got a bullish SMT, so we had no confluence going the other way. Again, kind of lucky. Yeah, no bullish SMT. What we did have, though, is this 1-minute gap, and we had a very strong reaction off this. And that is what the reason why I probably shouldn't have taken this trade, and much less re-entered it twice. That was probably a bad call. Yeah. But otherwise, we had our Sith, we had our entry here. It looked like a decent trade. The 2 re-entries, probably not a good call. Not very smart on my part. Would I do it again in a heartbeat? Yes, probably. The re-entries weren't the problem. The problem was that I was trading into a reaction, right? And that's one of my no-nos. It's what makes this a B trade. And really, if you're gonna take a stab at something like a B-level trade, it's gonna have that inconsistency, right? It's gonna hit like a 50-50. Do we want 50-50s where my accounts are at right now? Probably not. We did win our algorithm trade though, so that was $300, which takes the loss down to what it says in the title. It's only like 200 bucks or something, but yeah, no, took a hit today for sure. Still up on the month, not up a ton though, and it's gonna be a pretty shitty month, and that's because a lot of the price action this month has been like this. We've gotten a lot of the accordion patterns. We've gotten a lot of these kind of situations where just you don't get retracements, you don't get cysts. My setup hasn't really been setting up that often, and it's just kind of been running in one direction. That's been happening a lot. My advice to newer traders, and one thing that this had me doing today, this was a loss, and what I do on losses is I run. So this morning I had to go on a run, and obviously I tried to beat my time. I did beat my time. I got 10 whole seconds around my neighborhood quicker, which is just something that I've kind of been working at. It's a good way to clear the mind. It's very tricky when you get conditions like these, especially as a newer trader. you start to think that your strategy doesn't work because of the conditions and because of how the market is just setting up and not respecting your strategy as much as it might be. It's important to remember that you're protected by your risk reward ratio. Um, that protects you. That's your armor. I'm going to be able to trade tomorrow, and if I hit even a single trade tomorrow, another thing I will note really quickly is that it is FOMC tomorrow, so I probably should have been de-risked today and limited my exposure a little bit more than I did. Um, but I didn't, and I kind of had to take my medicine because of it. So whatever, we learned. I've got some new sticky notes sticking up on my monitor now, so that's that's something. We try to just learn and move forward. Shouldn't have probably done this, and I just got chopped up. I mean, I think normally, yes, I think normal conditions we probably could have flushed the 361, but it's not the important part. The important part is learning from the losses and taking the loss as well. And another thing I will say about taking losses and confidence is one of the reasons why I'm on here, even just backtesting right now, is because I'm going to be trying to build that confidence back up. Obviously, you do take a hit when you take 3 losses in a row. It's not great, especially when we really haven't been getting many full wins this month, and we've been having to work really, really hard for the wins we've gotten. But I mean, there's not much you can do. Obviously, every trader out there right now is bitching about the price action and how horrible it's been. And oh, I've traded for 5 years; it's horrible price action. In the sake of keeping this video short, I will try and just leave it there. Um, but yeah, I mean, there's no real reason to get super upset. I mean, you're gonna take losses, you're gonna make mistakes, and you're protected by the fact that if I come back tomorrow and just win one trade, I will make all my money back. That is what protects you. That's what gives you your edge. I'm hitting it like a 70% win rate. So at that win rate, it's probably less, a little bit less on my live trading. But at that win rate, I can win, and I only need a 33% win rate to actually break even. So I'm making money everything over 33%. So yeah, 60%, 50%, 70% makes a lot of money. So it's important to remember that and not live day by day. I could have gotten very angry and I could have gotten caught in the chop. Yeah, we did re-enter, but that was all within proper risk management. But yeah, last thing we'll do here is we will jump into replay. See really quick. I need to let's grab the Google Sheets. Where we're at. I believe we're on April. I want to say. Bear with me. Go to Wednesday or Tuesday the 22nd of April. D Money's joined us. All right, hold up. I'm gonna back test this really quick. Then I'll chat with you because I'm saving this for a buddy too. So we're gonna back test the 22nd here. Going to 9:30, and let's just play this out like we would any other day. So first we're gonna start in the 1 hour. Try to target our liquidity here. I'll try and walk through our whole strategy just so we kind of get an idea of what goes on. And we might not have any trades today. I don't know. I don't have any trades marked on this day, so we'll try and see if we get anything here. First thing we're going to do is we're going to mark out major levels of liquidity where we want price to draw towards. For me, it's this area down here, especially since we have a bullish fair value gap sitting down here, which means there's going to be a lot of sitting buy orders. So that's a nice area to be a buyer at. We already actually took sell side, or we took buy side here. So hit buy side. That's what BSL means. Buy side liquidity. We already took buy side on the 1 hour. We did go, okay, 9 o'clock. We are going to go and we're going to mark up these as well, just in case we need to trade this. I'm going to go 1 hour bearish. This is essentially what we do every morning. So here, just for additional confluence, we do have 1 hour highs sitting in here as well. 1 hour highs up here as well. So for the sake of time, I think this stream's already going pretty long, so we'll kind of just putt around this. But 15-minute, let's see. We've got our value gaps in the 15 minute. We only really need to worry about liquidity since we need to sweep liquidity for a trade. So I'm not going to mark these up, especially in backtesting. But normally, yeah, it's not a bad idea too. We have another 15-minute high that's snuck in here. See anything else? 15-minute low down here. Now I am going to mark this. Normally I would label this 15-minute. Actually, I'll do it. Oops. This is going to obviously be probably the longest section of this video. So 15 minutes. Then we usually go to the 5-minute. See if there's any other prominent highs that we can mark out from the 5-minute. Doesn't look like it. It looks like we're probably ready to go here. We've got our highs marked. We've got our fair value gaps drawn. Now remember, we need to sweep a high first, and that high needs to be within a fair value gap. So higher time frame for value gap. That's kind of what we need for our strategy. Now let's play this out and see if we can get anything here. Let's see. All right. So just right away, we got a reaction here. Now, so we do have a 5-minute. We have a 5-minute gap down here. You could take this, yeah. This wouldn't be a bad trade. I don't like taking trades this close to market open. I mean, we're literally 9 minutes in the market open, right? But technically, this is a setup. And it does, I want to say it probably is going to stop you out. But it's going to wick you out, and then you just need to re-enter. Which re-entering and getting good at re-entering is going to be like one of the key things you need to kind of, get down and master. There's a lot of trades that just aren't going to go your way. You're going to get stop loss hunted, and they're gonna grab your stop, try to piss you off, and then you got to be able to get back in that. This is a great example of that. So it looks like on this day, if you would have taken this, would I take this? Probably not. I don't know, maybe. If I was feeling frisky, maybe. But I never put this in the spreadsheet. I'm not going to add it. I'm assuming I didn't put it on here for a pretty good reason, because this is probably a B trade. I don't usually like to trade within the market open like this. I usually like to at least wait 10, 15 minutes in the market open. But this is a good setup, and a lot of times they do give you good setups. The big thing is I would use a market order here, and that is tricky. You got to be quick with market orders. It's really easy to not be able to hit that button quick enough. But if you do get the button, you could get a really nice RR. You can get a trade down here, or you can get a trade up here, and then you can make a lot more money if you do a market order instead of a limit order like I normally do. But okay, going on. So I would say this, yeah, I would maybe take this, but like I said, you're gonna get stopped. It's gonna suck. 4 points, and this looks like the kind of trade that's gonna just wick right back in. So just like today, just like pretty much every winning trade this fucking month, you're gonna have to just get really good at re-entering, and something just to practice. But you re-enter and then you just smash your target. So that's nice at least. Other than that, looks like now we're gonna be looking at shorts. We just took this high. Anything on the 5-minute? Yep, we got bearish for value gaps to back us up on the 5 minutes. So let's just see if we get any reactions off of taking any of these highs up here. Now we've switched from longs to shorts. Kind of a mixed bias here, but we're going to be looking a little more towards the bearish side. We'll see if we can get assists, because remember, we need to change in the state of delivery as well in order to enter. So let's see. Remember, we're looking for shorts, no fair value gaps there. Otherwise, that wouldn't have been a bad trade, but no way to enter that. Let's see if we get one. Keep in mind, I have no trades on my spreadsheet for this, so yeah, and this is probably why. I mean, it looks like we just got, okay, actually here we got assist. We're tapping in for value gap. Did we grab any liquidity here? Maybe this 5. Now this is not forcing it, but fuck, it's close. We'll see if we can get, we'll do this just for fun. Just so you guys can see a trade that actually kind of plays out here. What time is it? It's late in the day too. So would you take this? Maybe. Maybe not a horrible idea. But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna mock this up anyway. So here, just like we would take this trade, we're gonna measure the lowest fair value gap before the cyst, highest fair value gap before the cyst, and then see if we get we could look for SMTs too, but honestly we're gonna take this regardless and just mock this up. Get our short position, equilibrium of all the fair value gaps here. And now we need to see where this stops and where we can target. Okay, very clear target right here, which means stop loss to make a 1 to 2 needs to be right here. All right, let's see what happens here. Okay, we're entered. So at this point, we've just entered this trade. Entered here. It looks sketchy. We almost got stopped here. Let's see if we get stopped. I decided, yeah, let's take this. At least for the sake of backtesting, and so we can get some reps under our belt. Hopefully it plays out, but it could very well just slam to the stop. We'll see by this next candle. No, not yet. Not yet. Okay, that stopped. That's crazy. Would you actually take that? I mean, I don't know. It's late in the day. You're kind of not very prominent liquidity, but it's not a bad trade. Let's see if we get reactions downward like we did today. Yeah, it's not looking. It looks like this is just one of those weird days where it's just gonna keep going up. I mean, that is what it is. Sometimes you're just gonna take losses, and that's why you're protected by that risk reward ratio here. So yeah, would I take that in the true market? Probably not. Especially if I made my money earlier in the day off that first trade. Probably not going to take this if I'm being honest, but not a bad trade. Not a bad trade. This is also one of those where if you wanted to take out your trade, you want to take some of your position out because you're reacting off this 1 minute gap. That's one of those where like, yeah, you could do that as well. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Not a bad trade. Not a great trade. Maybe a B. I would really like to see some more prominent liquidity being taken out, honestly. Like, it's not bad, but it's not bad. Maybe I will add this trade. It's not bad to have more losses as well, you know, just to have some on the books. Because this is a pretty good reactions here. Obviously, just a little late in the day, a little choppy, and just didn't get our flush downwards. I'd like to go through a winning day. Maybe we will do another. Maybe we'll back test another day here. You know what? Let's do that. Let's back test one more day. Get this trade data. Okay, it's done. We'll go through. We'll do Wednesday as well. I'll come back to this and I'll add this when I'm not trying to do something swiftly. We won't go through the whole thing today. I'll just show really quickly what a winning trade looks like because I think we had a couple wins today on Wednesday, I think. We had a re-entry trade, which is about the story of our fucking life lately, honestly. 36. The big thing is if you actually look at the spreadsheet, I want to say for April we were 76% win rate. So if I pulled 2 of the fucking losses out of the whole month, I mean, you're still 76% win rate with a 1 to 2 to risk reward ratio. Yeah, it's not hard to make a killing off that. Obviously, you're just gonna keep scaling it. Let's see. Today the 23rd. Let's do Thursday. I want to show what a winning trade looks like. I think that'd be good to put in this first video. Hopefully the stream hasn't been going to. I want to do like some crazy fucking 24 minutes. Okay, that's not that bad actually. We'll do this last one and then we'll call it stream and then I'll talk to Max. All right, let's see. Thursday we had a trade at 10:14, or so it says. Let's see what we get here. We gotta go quite a ways. 10 o'clock. Oh. Looks like we're gonna be looking for shorts again. Wow, there we go. Okay. So we'll mark out the liquidity that we swept, which in this instance appears to be looks like we're taking 1 minute liquidity. Yeah. Just right here. 1, 2. We have this 5-minute high. You have these 5-minute highs created here. Swept. Whoa, what the fuck? I swear to God, dude, trading views sometimes can just suck my fucking. We took these highs. Yeah, we did. So we took those 5-minute highs, instant fucking reaction. We also have a 5-minute fair value gap here, which, what are our rules? We need a supporting higher time frame gap. And I'm willing to bet, I would bet my left fucking ball sack that there's something on the 15-minute as well. Or on the 1 hour. No, my left ball sack is fucking gone. Shit. Let's see. Yeah, no, fuck it. 5 minutes good enough. I mean, 5-minute is a high time frame technically. It would be nice to have something overlapping like a 15-minute, but 5-minute is technically all you need. Now, maybe follow along if you already know. If you don't, this is the trade. So we swept liquidity here. We've got our higher time frame fair value gap supporting us. We got our cyst, which is given to us by the indicator. So we have a sweep cyst, which means we swept liquidity here, swept higher time frame. So we got internal liquidity being swept, external liquidity being swept. Given the cyst, we've got no gaps in our way. We're clear for fucking takeoff. And we go short here in the middle of this gap. Now there's not multiple gaps, so we don't need to take an equilibrium of multiple gaps. Here's target. Here is stop at a 1 to 2. And we got filled here. Now let's watch this trade play out. Now, I'm assuming this was taken here then. I'm going to go ahead and assume that this trade, being that the stop didn't hit Thursday, right? Yeah. I'm assuming this was taken and then stops were taken out. There's probably a 5-minute gap. Yeah, okay. So with the 5-minute gap like this, you can take your profits here. That's what I did. Now this was actual trades that I took. So this was April. I took this trade, and this was a win that I took. This dark gray is trades that I didn't take. So every other trade this month I took. This Thursday trade that I did take, and I'm willing to bet there's going to be a note here. Good trade, but a 5-minute bullish gap in the way. Took profits at the gap, and glad I did. It would have stopped. So that's to be said. 5-minute gaps. Take your profits at the 5-minute gaps, which means this probably would have cut to a 1 to 1. Yeah, about a 1 to 1, which still isn't bad. That's why you always check the 5-minute. That's why one of my fucking sticky notes on my thing is a 5-minute, or check your 5-minute. So I mean that hit. It's not a bad trade, but because of that, I'm willing to bet it was still a B plus trade, maybe. So we don't take if there's a 1-minute gap in the way. We don't take profits at 1-minute gaps. We take profits at 5-minute gaps. We don't fuck with 5-minute gaps. We don't fuck with higher time frame gaps. But if there's a 1-minute in the way and it hasn't reacted off it yet, then you're pretty well clear for takeoff. So actually, there's a good lesson in this too, because obviously if you don't, you would have been 5 points from profit. And to be honest with you though, you probably would have went break even once you got down here. So likely this trade would have been risk free, and the worst case scenario here is you make like $2. But still, I mean, sometimes you got to take what you can get, and today just wasn't giving it to you. Just not good reactions. Honestly, this looks a lot like it did today. Looks a lot like it did today. And maybe it's worth going back to today and seeing if there was a 5-minute gap as well today. Because let's see if there was a 5-minute lined up today. 1 minute? I don't think there was. I think we already looked earlier in this stream. And I don't think there was a 5-minute. No. There wasn't. So just that 1 minute. So because there was just that 1 minute, I mean, I was totally justified in taking my trade all the way down to the bottom there. The bottom of that move, or taking the full target. So I feel even better about the trade I took today. But yeah. Sometimes you're going to lose. 76%. And lately, if you're talking about fucking like this month's been way worse. Times have been fucking really, really bad. So good time to get into trading because it's never going to be worse than it is right now. So bear that in mind. Great lessons, honestly, on how to take a loss. And we'll probably come back tomorrow with another little video for you to watch over the trade recap and advice and such. So I suppose I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully we can win some fucking trades tomorrow because today was fucking rough. This whole month has been rough, honestly. We're still green. A lot of people this month have blown their accounts and fucking done some horrible shit. So we're trading better than 90% of traders this month, which is good. We just need to be careful, be patient. FOMC tomorrow, so we're gonna be de-risked like a motherfucker. And we'll see. Make a video tomorrow too.